This Did You Do It Here? It's 2:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on May 3rd, 2018. And I just want to think out loud for just a couple moments. What we're looking at is from this Space Weather Prediction Center, and is a representation of the ionosphere. And what we've got here is basically the beginning of the ionosphere. It's about 50 miles high. The edge of it is probably, let's just say 650 miles high. Okay. Now they show here that the low frequency waves reflect rather low. They may enter the ionosphere a little bit, but they'll be reflected rather low. Now this is 50 miles, this representation right there. Now the tallest cumulonimbus clouds on record were about 75,000 feet tall, right in this area here. Well, about right there. That's about 15 miles tall. So when we're looking at the GLM bands on the GOES satellite, and they're picking up thunderstorms and lightning and energy, we're talking about it's calibrated to pick up activity down in this area. Okay, that would be the thunderstorms and all that. Real good. Okay. Now, when we've been seeing all the GLM activity, it appears to be at the same height as the thunderstorms that we're seeing down there, but there's no way to tell. Okay, now I'm going to go, I've got a slideshow set up here a little bit, showing you some of the, okay, for example, this. Now, I wonder why this is not showing up on the Schumann resonance. Well, if it's above the ionosphere, then the energy is being reflected back into space, most of it. Okay, that's just my interpretation. That's just a cool image I caught off of the GOES. There's that NT microphysics we caught on May 2nd. And there's the, it actually looks like a reflection. My first thought was a reflection. It is iridescent to a point, but there's some cloud patterns or something in there. My first thought was a reflection. Back to that. Okay, now, this is what I'm saying. This all should be picked up by the Schumann resonance. If it's you know, same height as the tallest cumulonimbus clouds, 75,000 feet, that's the record. Well, then we should be picking this stuff up on the Schumann resonance scale. I just don't get it. And there's another orange flash. This was odd. That was recorded on April 8th at 05:15 UTC. These are all snapshots out of my, or screenshots out of my videos. So if you go back in early April, you'll see all this and check out my videos. But the energy patterns on the GLM, I just am boggled why they're not showing up on the Schumann resonance. Just different images that I like, just real colorful and curious. And see, this definitely has some structure to it. This was an energy bolt produced by one of the events. If you look inside of it, looks like a flame. It's got a small one, a bigger tip, a bigger tip, and a bigger tip. And I don't know, it has a structure to me, kind of. And this looks like it's being reflected off of the top of the ionosphere, to me. Or it would be being reflected on a Schumann resonance. Although when you put them together with the GLM readings that we're getting at the same time, it would appear to me kind of that the events are occurring out in space, but the signatures are being picked up about cloud height. I don't know. I'm just throwing this all out at you. It's I'm just thinking about that Schumann resonance and the ionosphere and the height of the ionosphere and all that. And some of this stuff should be picked up. If this was ground-based origin, there it is. If this was ground-based, then we would definitely see it on the Schumann resonance. I think. I don't know. This is just really confusing. In the early days of the Schumann resonance, they counted on lightning bolts to get a reading on the Schumann resonance. So if these signatures are identical to lightning bolts, then why aren't we seeing it reflected in the Schumann resonance? I don't know. And they show the higher the frequency, the higher up it will penetrate the ionosphere. And some of the highest frequencies will actually go through the ionosphere. But part of it, I think, is that, by spraying all these metallic substances and particles up here, they're creating almost a nice transport method for their communications. It'd be highly conductive. They'd be able to shoot information up in here, store it all up in there, move it around. It's highly conductive. Now, I know there's other reasons why they were putting these these objects, spraying them on us. But, I do believe one of it has to do with, this is already densely populated with electrons. So you add metal to it, and it's just highly conductive. Now, that would explain the shield, maybe acting kind of like a Faraday cage. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just going off on a tangent. But I know that the GLM signature readings that we're getting appear to be the same height as the thunderstorm cloud readings we're getting on the GLMs. I just wanted you guys to be confused just like me. Thank you. Did you do it?